Здравейте! Благодаря! Аз съм Станислава Айви и от мен също имате едно много сърдечно добре дошли на тази годишното издание на Anniversary Comic Con. Това е първият ни панел с специалните ни гости. Нека да видим едно кратко видео, с кой ще си говорим.
Many have said that. But you are the first I believe could do it.
General Hammond, this is Teal'c. He can help us.
You know what he is?
Yes, sir, I do. He's the man who saved our lives.
That's a lie.
Indeed it is. Yet, should such a question arise during your interview, I trust you will not respond in a similar manner. You do, after all, know how to play the game.
Ronan! I shall return.
You are free. From another land far from here. I said, you are not ready. Boy, look at me! Look at me, boy!
The boy's true nature, your true nature, fights within him.
I'm from a land called Sparta. I killed many who were deserving, and many who were not. I had hoped to spare you. Being a god, it can be a lifetime of anguish and tragedy. That is the curse.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Christopher Judge.
Hello.
It's so good to have you here. Welcome to Bulgaria.
Oh, well, thank you. I've met so many lovely people today. It's really wonderful.
I am really happy to hear that, and I just want to let everybody know that we have a microphone here in the middle. So if you have a question for Christopher, please don't be shy. If your question is in Bulgarian, I can also help with that. I do speak some Bulgarian. So Christopher, I wanted to start with this impressive voice of yours that you have. Do you do anything special to maintain it? Do you do anything about that?
Absolutely nothing.
Do you sing?
No.
Okay.
I'm a horrible singer. My whole family has it. My kids have had very deep voices from the time that they were little. So it's kind of just like a family trait.
That is so cool. And how did everything begin for you back in the day in Hollywood?
Well, the first stuff I did was, my first job really was a recruiting film for the University of Oregon that I went to the University of Oregon that I narrated and hosted. But my first big job was when Nike came out with like the Air campaign for Air Max, the Air Force Ones, and of course the Air Jordan. I did that voiceover campaign, and I still remember it was the line was gravity is only a game.
Wow,
That was my
so
first
cool.
job.
And after that, you started dabbling in movies as well.
Yeah, I started, I guess, well, in the early days of, I don't know if you guys know the Fox network here. When it first started, they didn't have any programming. So they held 4 contests in the United States, one in the Northwest, one in the West, one in the Northeast, and one in the East, to host your own show. And it was kind of like a MTV type show. and then you would interview guests that were coming to the Northwest, and I won the Northwest one. So kind of right out of college, I had my own show. So
That's very good. And do you remember your first big role for a film after that? I love Bird on Wire.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was kind of the first big role I had. Right, well, big film I did, small role. But the first people that I did my first scenes with, were Mel Gibson, Goldie Hawn, and Kurt Russell and Goldie had a very young child. So Kurt Russell used to come to set every day, and so I got to hang out with them as my first kind of paying job.
And that was a good period for these type of films. They were so loved and so cool,
yeah.
even to this day.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And then tell me about Stargate. When did Teal'c come into your life?
It was kind of, I had almost left the business because I had gone almost 2 years without working.
Oh, wow.
The job that I had before Stargate was there was this ab trainer that was kind of I was Abdoman. That was my job before I got Stargate. So I had negotiated 7 pilot deals the year before I got Stargate, and I didn't get any of them. And so the worst thing about audition, like going as far as to make your pilot deal, you know how much money you're not gonna get once you don't get it. So it was just really difficult. I was just thinking maybe it's time to do something else, and it was my mother who said, we don't quit, we keep going. And
That's what moms are for.
That's what moms are for. And so yeah, that next pilot season, I got Stargate.
And how did Stargate change your life? Completely?
Well, yeah. It was, it was the 90s. Good Lord. I was talking earlier, next year will be the 30th anniversary of when we started. It's hard to believe it was 30 years ago. I know, right? And I mean, it did. I mean, it absolutely changed my life, changed my family's life. And it was a great time. It was, we had a great cast that we all got along really well. And I grew up a lot on that set, but I got to learn a lot from Richard Dean Anderson. There's a saying, earn while you learn. So for me, it really was, for the first 7 years, I got to learn from Richard Dean Anderson.
Which is absolutely spectacular. And we have a brave person with a question.
Hello.
Hello. Nice to meet you, Mr. Judge. Want to ask you, because, because Kratos was an inspiration through my whole life, I wanted to ask you what inspired you when you went into the role, and did you go through the T.C. Carson's era and see how to evolve the person into what Kratos became in 2018 and then in Ragnarok?
That's a great question. I was only kind of peripherally aware of God of War because my kids played it. So going into it, because they were recasting, I knew that they wanted something different. So I never watched any of the early scenes, and I'm glad I didn't, because TC is so great. And I was a huge fan of TC's anyway. And so I had actually met TC and his mother while we were doing Stargate. So I'd actually had dinner with TC and his mother. So I had no idea that TC was the original God of War. And it made it a lot easier for me not knowing that it was him just because he has such a phenomenal voice. And I wasn't tempted to try to recreate what he did. So I really did. And nowadays, when you audition for something, you generally have no idea what it is because they have code names for everything and they want to keep everything hush-hush. And so I wasn't burdened by that. So I was just free to kind of do my own interpretation of it.
Thank you.
And just a follow-up, which is a little bit curiosity from my side. Have you been recently recording anything God of War-ish, kind of LaFay, or anything new?
You sneaky little
Yeah,
mother.
just,
That was good.
it's a FYI for us.
I think I can say it. I think. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Kratos is in LaFay, and let me tell you. Let me tell you. So I've obviously seen a portion of it. It's a banger. People are gonna be blown out of the water.
That's how it looks. Thank you very much,
Hey,
sir.
thank you, brother.
Thank you. Can we have next, please?
Hello and welcome to Sofia, Bulgaria, first and foremost.
Thank you.
So my question is, based on so many voice actors that I've been listening, such as Kevin Conroy and all others that have really badass type of voices, you by far have one of the deepest ones, yet mysterious, but let's just say the deepest one out of the most, at least in God of War, and one of your movies, which is I really have to congratulate you for that. But most importantly, I wanted to ask is the whole journey that you've been, is this one of the biggest badass roles in God of War or any other upcoming animations or video games that you will be in?
You got a bunch of sneaky people out here. Huh? Yeah, I mean, I waited my entire career for God of War. You know, so often you do things to make ends meet. You do things to feed your children. You do things to pay the bills. So very rarely does a project, most of the projects that you love, you do them for almost no money because the studios, you know, are very formulaic. They're not willing to take risks on things. And walking into an already beloved franchise really allowed me to kind of really dig deep, and because I had waited to really go all. So roles for me are very transactional. So when I get a role, I look at the material, I look at the character, and I go, I want this much money to play this guy. Very rarely does a studio see eye to eye with you on how much you should make. So the studio will then say, we're gonna pay you this much money. And so you meet somewhere in the middle. So I always go, okay, I got 70% of the money I wanted, so you get 70% of my life's experience. You get 70% of my pain. God of War was the first role that I ever got that the material was fantastic, loved the director, and the studio and I saw eye to eye on what I should be making. So internally I said, this is what you've been waiting for. Now you're 100% all in. and you got to give it everything. So, I mean, I did. There was no part of my life experience that was off limits in playing this character.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Firstly, I would like to say it's an honor speaking with you as I grew up with God of War, with all of the games. So shout out to TC Carson.
Yes,
and,
yes.
I have a two-parter of a question. The first part is, what are some of the struggles that you had to go through when doing Kratos? Because he does have some drastic changes from 2018 and Ragnarok, because he's a father now and Atreus grows up and whatnot. That's my first part.
Okay. It's very interesting. I was going through my own life changes at that point. Stargate had ended, and it was odd to me that after Stargate, I couldn't get into a lot of rooms because you think of Hollywood as a creative place, but there are not really that many creative people in Hollywood. So Jason Momoa talks about this a lot. Like after Game of Thrones, he didn't get seen a lot because people thought he didn't speak English. And it was kind of the same, I went through the same thing after Stargate because people thought that I was really like Teal'c. It's like, I'm acting. Like, this is what you're paying me. Like, I'm acting. So I was in, so I'm a recovering alcoholic. So at that point in my life, I had decided I'm gonna quit drinking. I never thought that'd be that popular. So I was going through my counseling and stuff for that, but also I was at a career turning point where, you know, at that time I was in my mid-40s and I was like, well, I'm getting too old to be a leading man. What do I do? Do I like gain weight and try to be the funny fat black guy? Or, you know, so I was really at a crossroads. So I decided that I was gonna give it one more shot. And so I got into the best shape of my life, quit drinking. And once I'd gone through that whole process, my first audition was God of War. So it all really worked out. But it also gave me, going through the counseling, gave me a lot of emotional stuff to use with Kratos, because it was very similar journey. Because I missed a lot of my kids growing up. I missed all their first steps, missed all their first words, because I was working so much. So I've often said 2018 was very much a love letter to my children. And it was kind of a way of asking their forgiveness and their understanding for me missing so much of their childhood. And I didn't have a great father. Like my father was a bastard. So I was never taught how to father, how to be a dad. I kind of had to learn along the way, and that's very much what Kratos is going through. So it kind of all lent itself very well to each other.
That's amazing. It was a full circle.
And my second part is, out of the two games, Ragnarok and 2018, which performance of yours do you prefer? Do you enjoy 2018, how you did Kratos there, or Ragnarok?
Well, to me, it was all one journey. 2018 was very much about Atreus and him trying to connect with Atreus. Ragnarok was much more my story. I have really bad imposter syndrome. So I'm 62 years old. So when I go places, or when I look out into the audience and people want to hear what I have to say, in my mind, it's still like, why? Like, I'm still the same guy. You know, I'm still, so it's a very, and in the game, in one of the final scenes, Kratos sees this triptych where he is loved and celebrated. And so I didn't look at what the triptychs before we shot it. So when I saw that one, it so affected me because it's almost like this is my journey as a real person. I just lost it. And I couldn't get it back. I couldn't get back into character. So after that take, Eric, who was directing, came over and said, that was great. Now give me one we can use, which is very much our relationship. I mean, I love the guy. But that's very much who I am. Like, I don't know what I've done to deserve this. Like, for people to give a damn about what I have to say, it's still hard for me to wrap my head around why. And I'm just, you know, I guess a lot of people say this, but I truly mean it. Like, I don't take any of this for granted. I don't take the love that I'm given for what I've done for granted. I don't take you for granted at all. I'm appreciative every day for you guys. I really do. I love you guys. I mean, you've made my life what it is, and I never take it for granted.
Thank you.
And lastly, just to say thank you for coming. It was really an honor to meet one of my heroes. Hope you enjoy your stay. I really love the way you interacted with the old Greek gods in the DLC of Valhalla. And can't wait to see you in Lawfay, and can't wait to see the remakes of the original three games.
It's gonna be great. Yeah,
Thank you,
brother.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next question, please.
Hello.
I'd just like to say your characters, both in God of War and in Stargate, the series as a whole, have really been an inspiration to both me and my close friends. So I would like to ask you, in Stargate, the series, which moments really brought you close to the character you played? Which moments did you feel the most like Teal'c?
Anything to do with Ryak, his son. Those. When I got Stargate, I had written a whole backstory for Teal'c, not knowing it. I wanted him to have a son that he was trying to help, and the writers had already done that. So it was. I always made that kind of the center of what Teal'c was about. He wanted to save his family. He wanted his son to not be a slave like Teal'c had been. And so I always made that the central part of it. And that's any of my scenes with Ryak were the ones that really meant the most to me.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's an honor to meet you. Never in a million years would I think I'd be standing here and talking to someone like you. So,
Thank you.
I have a few.
When you say someone like you, do you mean like a black guy?
No.
No,
Like,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
I mean like somebody like so popular as you know?
Oh, thank you.
Can I ask you to try to keep it to one question, even if it's a long one, just because we have a lot of people waiting?
It's just a short one.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. So my question is, have you had any emotional moments while in the making of God of War?
Oh, there were many. The first was when Atreus was sick, and I didn't know how to help him. Because that's, I mean, any parent's nightmare is that your child is sick and you don't know how to help them. Another was spreading Faye's ashes. And another was like when I saw that triptych, how that affected me. And one of the most, I just became a grandfather for the first time a year and a half ago. And it, well, thank you. I had very little to do with it. I kind of just sat back and he was there.
Well, technically it's not correct.
In the battle with Thor, when he says to Thor, "We must be better for our children," that to me really hit home. So there were a ton of emotional moments in it. Thank you.
Thank you. What is your name?
My name's Ivaio.
Ivaio. Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Can I ask one quick thing?
You have to ask the mean lady.
Very quick, please.
Okay, so have you ever tried banica?
It's a Bulgarian pastry with cheese. We have it for breakfast. Tomorrow they should get you banica.
Okay, I'll have it tomorrow for breakfast.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
all
Thank you
right.
so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next one. Hi.
Hi there. Just wanted to quickly ask a question. Firstly, obviously, it's awesome to see you in person. It's just really cool. But my question is, have you ever had a moment when you were acting where you added to the character yourself? As in, like, out of the script, you decided to add something to the character? And what would be your favorite moment if that was, done by you?
Well, more so for Stargate, because Teal'c had the writers and Rick and I, we really enjoyed the humor between Teal'c and O'Neill. Working with Richard Dean Anderson, the script for him was kind of just a suggestion. It was like the expiry date on milk. Well, it's best if you do it like this, but do whatever you want. He did a lot of doing whatever he wanted.
Oh, that's awesome.
So a lot of the stuff between Rick and I was kind of just made up. We had rough boundaries of what the scenes were supposed to be, but Rick would, I mean, he comedically and timing wise, he's just a brilliant guy overall, but his innate sense of what works and what doesn't was unsurpassed by anyone I've ever worked with. And so a lot of our stuff that you see is kind of just me trying to tread water while Rick is swimming away. So a lot of that stuff was kind of just on the spot.
Okay, that's really cool. That's all I wanted to know, because that means you've added plenty to the character yourself, not just follow the script.
Yes,
which is
thank
just
you.
awesome.
Thank
Thank you so much for that.
Hey,
Thank you.
Enjoy your stay.
Thank you.
There are, some other, like Kelno Reaming, when Teal'c would have the candles and be meditating. That really came out of me being drunk. Seriously. During the first season, I think it was Peter DeLuise's first episode he was directing. Teal'c didn't talk much. So there weren't a lot of lines to memorize. So at night, while everyone else is memorizing lines, I'd be at the club. And so I was often on set without a lot of sleep. So we were doing a scene in the briefing room, and it was like 7 pages, 8 pages, and Teal'c doesn't say a word. So I fell asleep during some of the takes. And so DeLuise, behind the monitor, says, "Chris, are you sleeping?" And I popped up and I said, "No. Teal'c has just left his family. He's just turned against the rest of the Jaffa. Teal'c has more stuff to worry about than what's going on in this briefing room." So I hear DeLuise go, "Oh, sorry." And I was like, they bought it. So the next thing you know, they start writing into episodes these meditation scenes. And so literally all those scenes of me Kelno Reaming, which is our word for the meditation he did, came out of me being drunk on set.
Hi.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
First of all, the journey of Kratos means a lot to me, even more so as a man. Kratos is a role model for many men, young ones. You can see them here, even in the questions. And you play him masterfully, let me tell you that. The way he grows, especially during the Valhalla DOC, exposed me to the theme of forgiving oneself. And herein lies my question. What lessons on forgiving yourself that playing Kratos taught you can you share with us?
Yeah, there's a lot of guilt that comes with being an alcoholic. There's a lot of things that I've done in my past that, in my mind, were unforgivable. And not anything violent, not anything like that, but missing a birthday or missing, things of that nature. The theme that runs through God of War of forgiveness, I think is so important, especially for men. There's all this, and forgive me for getting on my soapbox here for a minute.
It's okay.
There's all this stuff now about what it is to be a man and how you should act and how you should be this and that and treat people a certain way. The best awards and stuff are great, but you coming up and saying it influenced you, that's the best reward there is. I don't know when it became unpopular to tell your children you love them, to tell whoever you're around, to tell your group that you love them, to actually care about people. Being a man is lifting people up, not putting them down. Being a man is making everyone feel heard and important and that they count. That's what being a man is, not all this other shit where, sorry about it. I feel so passionately about society and what how society is trying to influence young men to be something that hurts the society as a whole. When I started God of War, I was 48 years old. The writers were these young white men who most of them had all recently became fathers. Corey was the spearhead of giving Kratos a new narrative, giving men another path to follow. No matter where you've been, where you came from, nor how you were fathered, from this moment on doesn't have to reflect who you become and what you are working for, what you are working toward, and how you can positively influence the lives of others around you, including your own children. That is something, that's what the biggest thing I got out of being Kratos. You lead by hearing people. You lead by listening to people and letting them know that they are heard, letting them know that their feelings matter, letting them know that not only are they deserving of love, that they are deserving of being loving. That's what, to me, a father's job is. And being Kratos, so I talked about imposter syndrome. That is what gives me, what I just said, that is what I feel like gives me a purpose. That I can talk to men directly, and you may look at me and think one thing. I'm not afraid to hug nobody. I'm not afraid to hug another man. I'm not afraid to hug children. I'm not afraid to hug people and let them know I love them and I hear them and that they are worthy. And every person that walks this earth is worthy. We all have the same value, and that value needs to be understood and acknowledged by everyone else. Sorry about that. I just believe very strongly in that.
Well, thank you, Chris, for being a part of a story that helps people change for the better.
Thank you so much,
It was
brother.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First and foremost, I want to say hello, and
Hey, hello.
I hope you enjoyed your stay in Bulgaria.
Yes, I'm looking forward to breakfast tomorrow.
Is it okay if I record it, because it will mean really much for me? Is it okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you.
If you don't, you might be able to go on this thing called the internet and find it. It's a new thing. No, absolutely.
So my questions for you is, when you saw Kratos, did you feel a connection with him? Something that inspired you to play your role?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of all the things that that I talked about, and also my own physicality. That I felt like I had to be bigger, like more muscular, because when you change your body, it changes the way you walk. It changes the way you hold yourself. It changes everything about you. And so I talked previously about being in the best shape of my life, and then I put on a little more muscle once I got Kratos. So I wanted to really kind of inhabit his physical presence also. I also have ADHD. What was your question?
My question was, did you feel connection with him?
Oh, yes. So I started with the physicality of it. And then came the emotional part. And so, like, I still, all through 2018, was still going through therapy. So it was a lot to play Kratos, and then sometimes I had therapy sessions after the day of filming, so I wasn't able to distance myself from him. So during 2018, I was Kratos most of the time, like even in my real life. When I work, I stay in a hotel. I don't stay with my family, just because I so wanted to inhabit their character. So yeah, I mean, I tried to physically and emotionally kind of inhabit him.
I see. Thank you. And
Thank you.
I have a little, maybe personal request, if it's okay for you. Do you mind saying it?
Boy.
Thank you so much. Thank
Cheers,
you.
brother.
Thank you.
It's an honor to speak
What if
with
I
you.
had said like horseradish?
Yay!
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's an honor to speak with you and to see you.
Oh, likewise, brother.
You've had a very significant impact, I believe, on the entire gaming industry. And I'm very grateful for all your hard work throughout your entire career.
Thank you
And
so
I would
much.
like to ask you, what is a fatherly advice that you would share with all of your fans? Something that you wished someone would have told you when you became a father.
Be yourself. Be authentic to yourself. Don't try to be what you think other people want you to be. Love fearlessly. Know that there will never be anything that you do that will be greater than you being a father. There's nothing even close to it. And it doesn't matter truly how you were fathered. You can be your own father. You can be the father you want to be. Just don't be afraid to do it. And just always make your child feel like home is always a safe place. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Hello, Mr. Judge, and first of all, thank you for being here. I want to continue with the fatherhood theme. In a way, Kratos' story mirrors what you told us about your father being the B word. So, what are some of the most important lessons Kratos learned about being a father, and how do they resonate with your own parenthood?
I think that Kratos learns that there's not one specific way to father. There's not a right way. There's just the best way for your child. Whatever works between you and your child. There's books and stuff that can help, but I think you always feel when you're doing the right thing for your children. And I think Kratos discovers that, and as evidenced by when he says to Atreus, "I was wrong." And don't be afraid to tell your kids that you were wrong about something, because they appreciate that, and kids know when you're lying. Kids know when you're lying. But to get back to it, when he says, "Atreus, I was wrong," open your heart to their pain, open your heart to their suffering. And that is Kratos, for the first time, having learned about empathy, about caring what other people are going through. There's just so many, and also in Ragnarok, when Kratos and Freya kind of bury the hatchet and decide to move forward. A grudge is only a grudge as long as you hold it. It can always be let go of. When Kratos forgives Atreus for misleading or lying to him about where he's been, I operate like this with my children. There's nothing you can do that I won't understand and forgive you for. Nothing. So that just opens up a level of honesty between you and your children that I think in this day and age, with so many different stimuli and inputs coming at them, that they always have a place where they can be honest about whatever they're going through. And I think that's very much kind of what Kratos learns through his journey.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
I am very, very honored to meet you.
Likewise.
I have to ask something. Can you imagine a quote from the God of War games that you, after you say it on the microphone, you thought on your head, yeah, I like it. I mean, it's good quote.
Oh, there's one that we actually did before the one I was talking about with Thor, where when I read it, I actually called the writer and I said, man, this is a banger. And it was, death can have me when it earns me. So I called Maddie and I said, Maddie, this is a banger. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, this is going to resonate with people, you know, that the idea that you have some control of your own mortality. And it came to pass. I mean, that's one that's really popular with the fandom. So that one jumped out right away. And then, as I said, we must be better for our children. I mean, another one, when he tells Atreus, do not be sorry, boy, be better. That's another one. So, yeah.
Thank you. You are wonderful. I love you.
Thank you. I love you back, brother.
Thank you.
Tekmate Tilk.
Tekmate.
Welcome to this part of the galaxy.
Hey, thank you.
I have two quick questions. First one being, what are your thoughts on this potential Stargate reboot that everybody is talking about? Me personally, I don't want to see any SG-1 movie without the original crew. Sorry, but you made the show, guys. Yeah.
Thank you. That's very nice of you.
Yeah. And just the second question, I saw you in the Dark Knight Rises. What is it to work with Christopher Nolan?
Okay, so the first question, I don't know if everybody heard, so the reboot was canceled by Amazon. Right? I have, to me, the star of the show was always the Stargate and what it offered once you step through it. Sci-fi, to me, is now is so dark, and everything's post-apocalyptic. And to me, Stargate has always been about the inverse, the opposite of what's going on in society. Our society right now is very dark. A show like Stargate would fit so well because it was kind of back to the old tropes of science fiction, which were hope and laughter and exploration. So I thought it was the perfect time for Stargate to come back. You know, I don't know if you're aware of the campaign that's going around worldwide to bring it back. I hope it's successful. So, you know, we'll see.
But is it going to be the main movie reboot or the series reboot?
That I really don't know. I met with Martin Garrow, who was going to be the showrunner in December, and you know we kind of talked about it, and it was going to be a soft reboot, which I don't actually know what that means. But I assume that it was going to, first of all, have a new cast, everything stood on its own, but then slowly kind of work kind of the older people back in, I assume. I'm just guessing from what I talked to Martin about. But like I said, to me, the star of the show was always the Stargate and where it took you. You know.
Disagree.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that. But,
The 4 original members of SG1.
Sorry, we
And about the
are
second
out of
question,
time.
sorry, just the
We
second
are
question.
really out of time. That would be
okay.
the last question. I'm so sorry.
let me answer your second one.
Go for it.
That was The Dark Knight Rises was the toughest audition process I'd ever gone through. I had read 3 times. And then so finally I was going on my 4th time, and I read with just Mr. Nolan. Mr. Nolan was my reader. We were the only 2 in the room. So I thought I had gotten the part, and because it went really well. So I got a message from my agent, and I thought it was to congratulate me on getting it, and said, no, Mr. Nolan would like to see you again tomorrow. Here's what he wants. He wants you to do it with an Eastern European accent. I said, what black guy has an Eastern European accent? So I stayed up, and I tried to get a vocal coach, but they were all booked up. So I stayed up all night, and I transcribed Vladimir Putin's
Oh my God.
speech to the Olympic Committee to try to get the
Wow.
Olympics to Russia. And so I saw how he said different words, so I applied it to the script. So it took me all the way until it was my audition time. So I went in, and it was just me and Mr. Nolan again. And it went really well, and I ended up getting it. As an actor, I've never been just more starstruck in my life. Because my trailer was in the same, it's called the circus, where all the motorhomes are and stuff like that. So, you know, Hardy, Bale, Anne Hathaway, Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman. It was crazy. And like, I literally would just walk around like pinching myself, like, this is the greatest thing ever, you know? I almost lost my eye during it. That big fight scene, we had done stunt rehearsal for a week, but neither that's Joseph Gordon-Levitt, nor Bale were able to come to the fight training because they were shooting. So when we get to the night where we're gonna shoot it, Bale watches his stunt guy do it twice, and then does it every move, step for no thing. Joe, who hasn't done as much fight work, of course, as Bale, after the first take, the stunt coordinator comes and says, Joe, you gotta sell the punch. In my mind, I know I'm gonna get hit, because he didn't say, look, you can miss by this much, because the camera's over here, so you can swing this way and it'll look like you hit him. He didn't say that, so I knew I was gonna get hit the next take. Sure enough, the next take, his knuckle goes into my eye, and blood starts spurting immediately out of my eye. And so I see this, and I see the look of horror on everyone's face, and so they end up calling the ambulance, and I had to go. And it just happened, there was a couple cuts in my retina, no big deal. So people had found out where we were shooting. So there were probably 500 or 600 people around the perimeter of the set. So as they're wheeling me out towards the ambulance, I hear murmuring, and then I hear one person go, oh, thank God. What they had heard over the radio was that Chris is hurt. So they thought it was Christian Bale. So you know where you stand in the pecking order when people see you with blood spurting out of your eye and they go, oh, thank God it's you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a round of applause for
Thank
Christopher
you.
Judge? Our panel is unfortunately finished.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.